The United States has had 49 consecutive months of job creation. And yesterday, the rumors were that when the February numbers came in, we might see job losses for the first time in 4 years. And Larry Kudlow, Fox News host, former Trump economic advisor, on hearing about this, started to brace and say, we may be going through a period of bad news here. Let's take a look at the video. Then we'll talk about the jobs numbers and what we are to expect going forward.
Some very, very smart people are telling me that the jobs number that's coming out, the February jobs number that's coming out Friday, could be flat, even negative, Brookie. The GDP Now tracker from the Atlanta Fed is showing, I mean, for the first quarter, a -2.5 or -2.8%. And we've had lousy numbers on things like housing and business investment. My generic point here with respect to affordability and the economy is we're going to have to suffer through some bad news. This has nothing to do with Trump. Trump's program's not in yet. And I got people on the left who are blaming Trump. How can you blame Trump when he wasn't president, when these seeds were planted?
Well, let me tell you how you can blame Trump. A lot of what's going on are Doge-related layoffs and other companies bracing to what they see going on and saying, we are also going to do some layoffs. Layoff announcements soar to the highest since 2020 as Doge slashes federal staff. This is why the numbers do relate to Trump. And we need to be fair and only blame presidents for what they deserve blame for and not for that which they don't. But the other side of that coin is we should give presidents credit only for that which they deserve credit for and not for that which they don't. Let's listen to the last few seconds of this.
Well, you couldn't be more right about that because we've only been here 30 plus days. You can't turn an entire economy around in 30 days. You
Apparently you can.
can't bring the cost of goods down in 30 days.
So listen, there's a lot to talk about here. And in fact, in the interview coming up with Bill Adair, we will talk about being objective when we do these things so that we don't fall into the same traps they fall into. Consider that Kudlow saying this is bad news we will have to suffer through. That's a very significant shift from a year ago when Kudlow and his Fox News buddies were screaming that the economy under Biden was fake, that America was on the brink of collapse, while we saw job growth record after record, stock market all-time high after all-time high, wage growth exceeding inflation month after month. That's what they were saying then. But now, less than 2 months after Trump takes over, the bad economy is just something we're going to have to endure. And it has nothing to do with Donald Trump. Now, if even Kudlow is predicting this, it's probably worse than he's letting on. Now, tomorrow we will get the actual jobs numbers. It's important to mention that the ADP numbers, which are an estimate, came in at 77,000 new jobs rather than the 140,000 that were originally projected. So best case scenario, ADP's estimate is that job creation came in at 50% of what was originally predicted. That is a disaster. We will get the official numbers tomorrow and see how bad it is. But the thing about Kudlow is that he's not just sounding an alarm. His entire job is pretending that things are on fire when they are fine, if it's a Democrat in the Oval Office, and pretending that things are fine if they're increasingly being set on fire when it is a Republican in the Oval Office. And if Kudlow is admitting we could be looking at a negative job number, Trump's economy may already be falling off of a cliff. Another disastrous stock market day in the making right now as I am recording this. And yet, and this is the critical part, this is exactly what Trump said was not going to happen. Trump told us that on day one, he would turn things around. Hilariously, he does seem to have turned things around, but he said he would turn things around for the better. We were told we would see instant success. We would see booming jobs and a roaring GDP, and they were going to save Christmas, and you'll be able to say Merry Christmas again. And Kudlow bought into it. Kudlow said, this is such great pro-growth stuff that you will see it immediately. And instead, the numbers are tanking. And Fox News is scrambling to soften the blow. They will just keep blaming Biden for it. Never mind that Trump came in and fired everyone remotely associated with Biden's federal government. And it turns out that in general, all of these government layoffs, they aren't good for economic growth. It turns out firing endless numbers of workers, picking unnecessary trade fights, creating economic uncertainty, this is not a good way to keep the economy strong. So get ready. If the numbers are bad, Fox is going to spin it. If the numbers are good, Trump's going to get credit. And if the numbers are really, really bad, well, then they might try to blame it on Hunter Biden rather than Joe Biden. That's how low they're going to go. So that's Larry Kudlow. Let's now see how other Fox News hosts are handling this. Guys in my audience, I know you're tired of the chafing with traditional underwear. Our sponsor, Sheath, makes the most comfortable boxer briefs I've ever worn. If you're sick of the boxers that are too loose or the briefs that are too tight, Sheath is for you. Sheath underwear is designed with two special pouches in the front. Keeps everything separate in its own compartment with extra confidence that you will feel throughout the day, keeping things separate and comfortable, no more sticking and chafing. I was skeptical about the dual pouch, I admit it, but it is game-changing. Everything stays where it is supposed to be, extra useful when working out at the gym, and even if you don't want to use the pouches, you don't have to. It is still the most comfortable pair of underwear I have ever owned. It will blow your mind how soft and stretchy these are, made with moisture-wicking technology to keep you dry. If you were ready to take underwear comfort to a new place, a place you didn't even know it could go, head over to sheathunderwear.com/Pacman and get 20% off with the code Pacman. The link is in the description.